Hi everyone, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Bayonetta on hard difficulty mode, and this is chapter 12. It's called The Broken Sky. I really like this chapter. I think it's got some really good things going for it. It's got some fast-paced music, which I like. I think the music... I like the main theme of the game, but I think it's overused. And if you don't like that song to begin with, then it's really going to bother you. If you like the game, that is. But I think I do fall a couple times over here into these areas here that explode. But you only take a little bit of damage. And over here we're going to have a fight, which I think you have to participate in. Let me see. I don't know. I think no. I think this is a mandatory fight because there is. I think there's a different type of barrier in this area. You can't quite see it now, but it's that fire, that devil right there. I think that's preventing you from moving forward. So we will be facing Jeanne pretty soon, and she's as problematic as she usually is. But there's no checkpoint on that fight, so it's really difficult. But fortunately, if you die, they'll restart you on the Gates of Hell area, right by the store, so you can make your purchases. So I'm doing the breakdance move on these guys, activating the witch time. And it's going to take that guy out, do a little bit of enemy juggling. They've juggled me enough, so I'm going to juggle them for once. Now, we're just going to cross the next area. And then we'll be outside the ship, I think. See, it just fell. You just take a little bit of damage, then you move on. It's not the end of the world. I think I would like there to have been more levels like this, and it's hard to say just what that kind of level is. But I think the Vigrid areas, there, we've been in there so many times that they kind of start to get stale. And here is just a really fresh level. It's got different music. I mean, I don't think we've heard this music too much. Here we're just doing some auto jumping, and we have a fight coming up here that's not broken by a checkpoint, so be very careful here. I think what I'm going to do is just use a yellow lollipop at some point when these guys are almost dead. But we have this fight and the next fight, which is on the same checkpoint like I mentioned, so I kind of pushed it. I was on the next fight, and sometimes you just feel like there should be a checkpoint, and I like to test areas too and see where the checkpoint is. But I think I've activated the yellow lollipop here or not. And this is kind of a waste to use the torture attack there, but it did finish the guy off. Okay, one more guy left. I think I'm invulnerable right here. And there's, I feel bad about that, but it's part of the game. I don't overuse it. I try my best, but those enemies, I just can't tolerate them. So, on the one hand, I don't like to do it. On the other hand, I try to moderate it a little bit. But now these enemies here, you can damage them, but you can only really hit them with significant hits if you're in the witch time. So, I mean, you can pick up, if one of them dies, then you can pick up their weapon and hit them with that. But the key to these kind of fights here with these enemies is that go in for an evasion and then activate the witch time, and then just go ahead and hit them. They might be more hittable if they don't have their shields, but from what I was experiencing, I just really couldn't damage them too much unless I was in this mode here, this witch time. And then after this fight, then we'll fight Jeanne. When I first played this game, I was kind of irritated that they didn't put the checkpoint right on Jeanne, and rather they send you a little bit distance back, but it's only like it only takes like 10 seconds to get back to her, and it's actually a good thing, because if you're underprepared for that fight, it's nice to be thrown back by the store area, and so you can purchase some stuff. So I activated another yellow lollipop. These guys were almost dead, but then again, I had no health. So I'm hitting them, but I'm not dealing them too much damage. See, you can hit them when you're not in the witch time, but it's just very minor damage. So you've really got to you know parry their attacks, go into the witch time, and then do your strong combos. Okay, now I'm going to pick up one of the swords that one of the guys had, and this actually does fine damage. So that fight's over. We're going to kiss the barrier away. Go shopping if you need to. You probably will need to. It's a tough fight. And don't take any chances, because there's no checkpoint. So I would recommend getting the syringe that refills your health when you die, and for these Jeanne fights, it's really handy to have some red lollipops and some yellow ones. Just, I mean, if you're opposed to using it, that's your own thing, but I'm not. But this fight here, this was from a separate take, so when I initiate the next phase, when she's on the motorcycle, I'll have used a yellow lollipop, but that was because I used a separate clip. And what happened was I died, presuming that there was a checkpoint, but there's not. So when I got back to her, I just used the yellow lollipop. So here you have to. The only way you can activate the witch time is to parry her wicked weave attacks, which can be pretty devastating on when you get hit by them. And it's really hard to see them coming because she's so quick to use them. But that is the only time you can activate the witch time. And she's always problematic, so you just want to do some clean strikes. That counter attack I missed right there, and I could have possibly taken her into the next phase of the fight, but this was my first time fighting her, and I just didn't even know that was going to pop up all of a sudden. And turning into the Panther is just against my wishes, because I'm trying to do evades, but I guess I'm double tapping it too quickly and just thinking I want to go into the Panther mode. But that Jogo right there is just murder, very bad. I don't think you can get out of it either. So at some point she'll go into the phase, like right over here where she falls back, she staggers backward, and then she's going to be on the motorcycle. So no checkpoint here, I guarantee it. This is a little bit easier of a phase because it's really easy to parry once she's driving right next to you. So what you want to do is, shoot her from a distance, just evade right when she's going to drive past you, and then once the witch time activates, just go to town with your own wicked weave attacks. And then we'll be on the final phase. There should have been at least one checkpoint here, for God's sakes. Okay, so now she's off the motorcycle, and we're back to the same phase, similar phase from phase 1. So I activated a red lollipop here, and so there's one of her attacks. So if I had parried that, it would have gone into the witch time. Any one of her wicked weave. See the heal right there? If I would have parried that, it would have gone into the witch time. Same deal. But she's just very, very aggressive. Juggles the player very often, So your best bet is to activate that red lollipop so you can deal more damage to her and get these counters in, because they take away a lot. Let's see how much it takes away from her health bar here. That's a good amount of damage. That amount of damage to deal her on your own is something you really appreciate, especially when it's free damage from a counterattack. So I'm almost dead, and I decided I might as well use a yellow lollipop. I even had to use the red hot shot. So she also does that spray attack with her guns, which is easy to dodge. Okay, here I was thinking to myself, you know what, just let me use some health. Let me use this, and failing this, then I'll just go for that yellow lollipop. And I'm not proud of it, but no checkpoints here, that's ridiculous. Come on, give the player at least one goddamn checkpoint. Another thing that it's just hard to get these combos going on her. You know, you'll get to the last combo button press that'll activate the Wicked Weave attack, and then she just breaks the whole combo. But here, I thought this would kill her, but unfortunately she has a little bit of health left right at this point, so that's why I took some massive damage over here. I'm not sure why that didn't kill her. Didn't do any damage. Maybe I failed the quick time event. I'm not entirely sure. So stay away from her when she encircles herself in that barrier and she's throwing the Wicked Weave attack. You just want to try to parry it safely. So here I decided, you know, I've been fighting her for like 10 minutes. I'm not gonna, well, it wasn't 10 minutes, it's probably about 5 minutes. But I just want to finish her off here, that's the main thing. And this doesn't conclude the level, we have a little bit more to do actually. So just finish her off and then we'll go to the next part. Okay, so what we're going to be doing next is a series of escort missions. We're going to get a cutscene pretty soon where, if you recall, a few chapters back, maybe 4 chapters back, we were dealing with the kid. And now we have to deal with her a little bit more, but it's not that hard, but it's harder than the previous one. So once you jump over here, you're going to get the cutscene, and you need to place the kid right up against that wall. The farther away from the water you place her, the better. So you just need to place her down, and then on this confrontation, and then on the confrontation with the birds, you'll need to protect her. And then I believe at that point, it's less a matter about having the child drown in the water or get electrified or whatever exactly happens, and more a matter of just shielding her from the last foe we're going to kill, who's this guy right here, just another spawner of him. So that guy's dead, going to be dead in a second, and then once this guy's dead, the barrier is going to lift and push back a little bit further. So pick her up and then put her right over here, anywhere will do really. And then just take out these birds. The birds are pretty problematic, but I think these ones differ a little bit from the ones in the final section, because these ones seem to float around and stay static a little bit more than the other ones do, I think. But they could be the same enemy, just maybe they're programmed a little differently. I mean, they look exactly the same, but my deaths here mainly included having the child drown. The enemies, they hit her a couple times, but that was never the cause of the death. It was always just the kid drowning. And at this point, we want to take her up here, but I think the water is stopped there. So here's another guy right here. He's pretty easy to get the witch time on and parry his attacks that way. And if you want, you could take the weapon from... well, it's kind of hard to get that to work, actually. Because the weapon will most likely get caught in the water and you can't go back down there. But look at this. Watch this. That damage, man. Wow. I guess that's what happens when you... The faster you press on the X button, you get more damage for these enemies. And it should be noted, though, that's all on the same checkpoint. And then this is a final checkpoint of the chapter. And it's really annoying. I've tried to place the kid up on... You see where the pipes are to the right? And I even tried to double jump up to that platform up to the right. You see that one up there? But the thing is, you can't double jump when you have the kid in your arms. So no matter where you place the kid over here, she might take some damage. And this is just a big catastrophe, and it's just a mess. I don't like it. These birds are really flighty. Pardon the pun. I really just didn't even know. I was kind of at my wit's end with this. I died like 5 times, and you know, the best thing to do though would probably be to use a red lollipop. I mean, that will get these guys killed pretty quickly. And then, you know, here I place the kid up here, but the whole area gets filled with water, so it doesn't really matter where you put her. And I'm using the lock-on in the air to make sure my hits are connecting over here. And it's not really essential, but I just feel that it works a little bit better, especially when you're dealing with these enemies here who are just flying around in the air and evading your attacks. And just really watch out for getting juggled. I mean, they'll juggle you like you're in the fucking circus. But let's see, there's 3 guys here. 1 guy just got killed. 2 guys down. I think there's a couple more guys left. And the kid hasn't taken any damage, so that's pretty rare for what's happened. And that's it. That's the end of the chapter. It's a pretty brief chapter. It's an enjoyable one, though. And I'll see you in the next chapter.